Football contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust, footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas, the South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Good morning. Welcome in. It is a Friday, final one of August here on Sports by the Book. I'm Jeff. She's Alex. First of 2 shows here today, Alex. And, of course, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty for contest signups here across Las Vegas.
We are. So today and next week, both of our Fridays morning shows, of course, are sponsored by footballcontest.com. If you want to enter any Vegas football contest, you got to go with the pros, footballcontest.com. Use promo code Alex. You will receive a special offer from Maddie and Tony. One more time, proxy.footballcontest.com takes you right there. We were talking about it off air. If you want to sign up for the Westgate, you only have today. The deadline is today at 3 p.m. That is the college contest, $500 in entry. You can have up to 10. So anybody in Vegas, last chance today. You got to get down there.
Yeah, you still have till next week to get in on all the NFL contests, but college contest, that deadline is 3. Those picks got to be in by 5 o'clock or earlier when you're going through the contest, going through a proxy like Mike Vegas, Maddie, and,
That's right.
and Tony do a tremendous job, as always, at footballcontest.com. All right, let's get to it, Alex White. Let's begin, though, with what was a pretty seismic move that I thought you, me, and Ryan walked upstairs to talk to Chris and Vinny about Football Frenzy for later this afternoon, yesterday afternoon. And Chris said Micah Parsons got traded. And I'm like, oh, no way. What? It came out of nowhere. And it's like, no, he's going to Green Bay. So Micah Parsons goes to Green Bay. Kenny Clark and 2 first-round picks go back to Dallas. And Parsons becomes the highest non-quarterback for a contract ever. 4 years, $188 million, $136 million guaranteed. Now, Alex, it's interesting when you see at the South Point here, the odds on Dallas have not really moved because there was still a little bit of an expectation, I would guess, of, hey, maybe he might not play the first few weeks. Maybe it'll be an actual classic hold out instead of a hold in. But those Packers odds, Sean, you got 22-1 yesterday, right? Sean got 22-1 yesterday. Those are long gone, all the way down to 15-1 and 12-1 are the predominant numbers in the market now.
It'll be very interesting. And if people who are watched our previews, I did say it's a good buy low. Nobody's talking about the Packers, and now bringing over Micah Parsons, could be a game changer for them. I don't know if they're completely ready, but we'll see. We'll see how Jordan Love looks and if they can really make a run for the Super Bowl. Of course, Micah Parsons just one of 2 players to have 12-plus sacks in each of his first 4 NFL season. Do you know who the other one is, Jeff?
So
12-plus sacks
12
in
plus
each of their first
in
4.
4. 12 plus.
Yeah.
Was it Myles Garrett?
Reggie White.
It's pretty good company.
Yeah.
Pretty good company.
Yeah,
Well, hey, look, both will now have history in getting moved to Green Bay in their career as well. So, boy, I'll say this with this deal, though, Alex. And by the way, yesterday afternoon, the Packers in week 1 did move from 2 to 2.5. Now, that's not a huge move, still under 3, but that is also something that happened after move happened at 2:10. The trade happened a little bit before 2 o'clock yesterday, Pacific time. So that's something also as well.
I think that's a little aggressive because he didn't practice with the team, not even the Cowboys, right? It was a holdout. Well, Holden, you're right, he was there. But now, so I don't know how much we'll see of him, how many snaps he'll really play in that first one. But, I mean, I guess it's just a half a boy.
I think he'll be ready. But, again, it's not like if it moved from 2.5 to 3, then that's a gigantic move. 2.5 to 2, until Green Bay wins by 2, then it's a negligible move for the time being.
We're talking about the Packers a lot. We should mention the Cowboys that are really, I mean, neither of us liked them going into the year, and that is on our preview as well. But now, really, they are kind of just a skeleton of themselves of what we've seen the last couple of years making the runs.
You know, it's very interesting because Jerry paid Dak Prescott. He paid CeeDee Lamb. He ended up not paying Micah Parsons, who you could argue is their best player. I would say he definitely is their best player. Boy, Dallas's numbers haven't moved. They're still 30-1, but all I'll say is it can work 2 ways in Dallas. It get really bad, or who knows, maybe galvanizes the team a little bit. But boy, it's kind of feeling like it's setting up poor Brian Schottenheimer as a one and done potentially in Dallas.
Yeah.
By the way, 7.5 now on opening night. The bettors did take that. Yes, did lay the 7 here at the South Point. So now 7.5 on Philadelphia over Dallas in week 1.
This is very similar to the Patriots there after Bill Belichick and the one and done and kind of hire from within.
Mayo, yeah.
With Mayo, and now, so we'll see. We'll see how it all goes. But of course, we know that Jerry does love offense, so of course he paid those too.
Hey, look, CD is amazing, but boy, Dak injury problems. But there you go. Packers also now you're tied with San Francisco for the 3rd shortest odds in the NFC market as well here at the South Point at 6-1. They were down. They were in the same numbers as the Commanders yesterday, so a small slice on the NFC odds. All right, we'll also get Chris and Vinny's thoughts on this at Football Frenzy coming up at 12 noon. But let's get to some games here for today in college football. Let's start in rotation number order as always here for these games, and we'll start in San Jose, which is the latest game of the night, but is the first one on the rotation numbers. It's week 1. I don't know how we don't get the rotation numbers actually in the order of the times that the games are starting. It's not like we had multiple we've known these starts for months, but that's a different conversation for a different time. Don Best. San Jose State's up to 14 in this game, Alex. Niumatalolo, of course, year 2 now in San Jose after that long tenure in Navy. They improved as the year went along last year. Now, again, their best players in the NFL, and Nash, who was their wide receiver, who was just a stud a year ago. But this is a team that is a dark horse in the Mountain West. And after last night where Boise just got drubbed in Tampa, look, we all, you, me, and Bruce all liked South Florida yesterday. We didn't expect that. We didn't expect Boise to get held to 7 points and lose by 3 scores. So maybe the door's a little bit open in the Mountain West. 14 from 11.5 on San Jose State against the Chippewas of Central Michigan tonight.
I'm very intrigued by this game, actually, and this matchup, because you just brought it up with San Jose and Ken coming over from Navy, and now Central Michigan kind of follows suit, and they hire Matt Drencall, who was with Army. He was the OC there, so he comes over, going to kind of bring the run power spread. So I'm intrigued. I mean, is this a under, even though my number matches right there with the 52. Are we going to see both teams running the ball a lot? Probably. And on the other side, with him, he brought the DC from Army. So he may have a few tricks up his sleeve and how to stop the run. So that kind of makes that 14 worth a little bit more, getting 2 touchdowns there. Have not played anything, probably just a watch and see from both teams here. I do agree with you, San Jose State, year 2 here. Want to see what they have and if they can really make a run and have a chance to win the Mountain West this year.
52 under feels pretty good here because if you look at Central Michigan's roster as well, they returned 7 defensive starters. Now, it's going to be a ground and pound. It's not going to be like the true Army option, but it's going to be run first for Central Michigan. If this gets through 14, I'll probably be on the chips getting north of 14, maybe even 14, maybe a small sprinkle. But at least to me, the under at 52 and find the 52s here at the South Point, and Circa's got a 52. Everyone else is 51.5. Make sure you get the 52. Because that is in college a key-ish number in that area code, those low 50s. 20, even though 27, 24 would be obviously under 51.5, 28, 24.
Yeah.
Right on 52. Get yourself a push.
A lot of unders yesterday, too, besides Rutgers' game.
Unders and dogs were great yesterday. On the
makes me
not
nervous.
including the extra board where there were some just absolute destructions for FBS versus FCS yesterday. All but one of the dogs covered last night, and as you said, the unders were good as well.
Well, you brought up the Big Ten and you were kind of curious to see how that middle chunk was going to look.
Well, not good returns last night.
No, not with all the MAC teams covering and Cincy. So yeah, that middle group. So we'll see. But
Yeah, really unimpressed with Nebraska, even though they won. And I got to give them a little bit of credit. They did actually win a close game, so good on them. But the other 3. Wisconsin unimpressive, Minnesota unimpressive, Rutgers defense unimpressive a night ago. Even though we warned you, Parker Navarro's good at Ohio. Yeah. So I'm not overly surprised that Ohio stayed in that game.
Man, Wisconsin was worse than I had ever
very
imagined.
bad.
You said it yesterday.
Very, very bad. And Billy Edwards got hurt too, which is not good for Wisconsin. All right, let's go to Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. UNC Charlotte, Appalachian State. This is one of the bigger movers of the weekend. And it's the biggest mover of tonight. This opened 8.5 with Appalachian State. It's down to 3. New coach at Charlotte. Of course, the beloved, at least by us in the media, Biff Poggi is now gone. Tim Albin comes over from Ohio. So we know Albin can coach. A little bit perplexed, though, on why this has moved so much. Because Albin basically had to redo the whole roster there at Charlotte. Now, it's a different look roster at Appalachian State. It is also a new coach, Dow Loggins, who has a bulk of his experience in the NFL, was the offensive coordinator of South Carolina the last few years, gets the Appalachian State job. So it is 2 new coaches, 2 new rosters, but just like App State's roster a little bit more, and it's not like there's a home field advantage here in this game for the 49ers of Charlotte.
Absolutely nothing you can do now. I mean, I think if you were getting one of those big numbers when it first opened, you could make a case there for the dog. Like you said, 2 new head coaches, new rosters here, and I think the talent level is very similar. So, but now here at 3, I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, I'm going to stay off. This is a wait and see. There are going to be a lot of wait and see games, but this one tonight, I think of the games tonight, is the biggest wait and see just because of how gigantic that move was. All right, let's go to Winston-Salem next. Year 2 in FBS for Kennesaw State, and they kick it off on the road at an ACC squad of Wake Forest. Wake Forest is at the bottom of the ACC for me. Only Stanford is the only team that is clearly worse than them in the conference. I think there's a little bit of an argument when you get to basically everyone but Stanford that's in the bottom 5 or so. You can make the argument that they're all pretty similar. Wake is 18 here at the South Point, which, by the way, if you like the Owls of Kennesaw, this is the best number in the market here, Alex. Everywhere else is 17 and a half at the moment.
I'm with you with what you said about Wake being second worst right now in the ACC, and really don't want to jump in with Kennesaw State here in this first matchup, even with 18 points. So this was a pass for me.
Yeah, this was a weird one for Kennesaw where they come up to FBS, and look, what did you expect in year 1 of FBS? You fire your head coach who was very successful at the FCS level. Now Jerry Mack takes over. Mack, who was with the Jacksonville Jaguars last year. He's a guy who followed Josh Heupel to Tennessee, was the running backs coach there. I just very, very strange that of what Kennesaw did. And, of course, Wake Forest, new coach, Jake Dickert comes over from Wazoo. I loved what Dickert did in Pullman. I thought he did as well as you could have with the resources and, of course, then the ridiculousness of what happened with the Pac-12. But this is going to take a little bit of time at Wake Forest. That program was pretty bare bones when he inherited, and there's only so much you can do with a limited NIL that Wake football has, Alex.
No, I definitely agree with you. And I think you kind of summed it up perfectly for both these teams and what we're looking at moving forward for the season.
Up next, we go to what I think is the game of the night and could very easily be the most exciting game of the weekend. We will have our full picks of this game on Football Frenzy because both of us have opinions on this game. But, Alex, this has been a fascinating line move with Baylor and Auburn. By the way, Football Frenzy comes your way at noon. And actually, this will be the first game we talk about on the show today. So tune in with us at noon with Alex, Chris, Vinny, and I. So this opened at 2.5 with Auburn with a new look team. Jackson Arnold is now the quarterback. Hugh Freeze and the company just lost every close game a year ago. It opened 2.5, got down to pick, now back up the ladder to Auburn 2. Baylor has expectations after that hot finish a year ago, especially with some considering Sawyer Robertson the best quarterback in the Big 12 going into the year.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how Auburn's year does go because you're right. I mean, they just had terrible luck and bad turnovers, mistakes late in the games, right? So you'd think fix up some of those things and regression to the mean and should have a better year here. Can't wait to see how Jackson Arnold looks, though. And I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but I do think he will definitely bring a different element. And we'll see. I mean, 5-star recruit originally and didn't get the best out of him from Oklahoma, but we'll see what we get from him here at Auburn. But I do think line-wise, paying a little bit of that SEC tax, right? And
a little bit.
I'll just leave it right there.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. I think that's a fair assessment on that. And yeah, this is the most intriguing game tonight, and it could end up being the best game of the weekend. Even with the amazing slate with all these top 10 matchups, these teams are really good. They're dead even. Even though I guess Auburn, based off the power rating, is ahead of Baylor, I at least think they're dead even. And look, with the way the SEC is now, those Big 12 teams are always give the SEC teams their best shot.
Well, okay, and thinking about both these teams, the similarities, they both started terrible last year. So it's going to matter who can actually jump out to a good start in this first game. But thinking about the end of the year, I mean, geez, we saw some shootouts and some crazy fourth quarters with both of these teams against opponents. So I think that's why we kind of have it in our mind that it could be the best game of the weekend.
Let's go to Sam Houston State and UNLV next. Bruce Marshall brought up yesterday he liked Sam Houston State. Not a good performance by UNLV in week 1 against Idaho State. The defense was awful. They needed the offense needed to bail them out with 38, and they needed all 38 of them in order to beat the Bengals of Idaho State here in Vegas last week. So this is a big move too. 13.5 to 9.5. Sam Houston State also played last week. Western Kentucky just might be really good in that CUSA and can't really hold it against Sam Houston. They were in that game for 2.5 quarters before Western Kentucky really took off in that one. This total also has gone up as much as 5 points and now has come back a little bit to 61. I don't like missing the best of the number here, Alex. This is a weird travel spot as well for UNLV, right. Going to Sam Houston. Also, UCLA comes to town here in Vegas next week. So not only is it a weird travel spot, it's a look-ahead spot. There's a lot going against UNLV here in this game. I don't think they'll lose. I think UNLV will find a way to win this game, but this feels like a one-score game to me. If it goes back to 10, I'll be an auto fire for me, but 9.5, even if it being the worst of the numbers, still okay in my book.
Very hard to handicap here. You're right. Both teams gave up at least 500 total yards to their opponents last week, so it was a terrible showing from defenses, but I'm not jumping in on the over. I got a feeling both teams are going to dial it back and try and lean on their run game a little bit more. Really impressed with what I saw from Anthony Calandria, more than even Alex Orji with his ability to run and how mobile he was. So we'll see. It is a lean to Sam Houston, but to your point with the Western Kentucky, while I do think they're really good, quarterback Hunter Watson made me nervous because
I agree.
He almost just looked tired at the end. He almost pulled an Anthony Richardson. I think he was ready to tap out and have somebody jump in for him. So it is, UNLV has the talent. We know that. They brought in a lot of guys that didn't work out at big Power 4 schools, all brought them in here together. So they will be a little bit overmatched, but I'm with you. I think 10's probably a good number. I think Sam Houston State can stay in this one. See if it moves by the time Football Frenzy comes around here at noon. All right, this next game, I know Alex White has a play on this game, but it will wait until the Frenzy at noon. Mile High in Boulder. Colorado welcomes Georgia Tech. So this opened 3.5, not as high as 4.5, now 4 with the Jackets laying it in Boulder tonight with a total of 51. And that's what I just want to bring up right now because that opened at 56. And it has just been one-way traffic to the under. Now, I understand Georgia Tech wants to grind you. They want to win with their run game. They want to win with their defense, even though they have competent quarterback play. As we know, with, of course, Haynes King. But I'm a little floored by this movement here, and I'll be curious to see what Vinny and Chris tell us later on Football Frenzy on why that has been such an aggressive play to the under here, Alex. Especially, when we talk about it at 12, the first thing I'll say, and the only thing I'll say right now is both these quarterbacks are elite. I really like both of these guys. You like Caden Salter at Colorado? I really like Caden Salter at Colorado, who came over from Liberty, played a big chunk of time, 3, maybe 4 years there, but has really good numbers, especially dating back to 2023. So, I like both these guys that are leading the offenses. So I actually had it closer to where the books opened it. Week 1, not going to go against the Steam, though, in that regard. We'll have the full breakdown. Alex will have a pick on Football Frenzy for this one here tonight. All right, last one on the board for FBS v. FBS tonight. Michigan State is 21 against Western Michigan. That's a 2.5-point move from the opener of 18.5. Total has not moved at all at 50.5. Wow. Year 2 for Jonathan Smith. Now, yes, I'm interested because I really have no feel for this Michigan State team. I thought their win total was about right. I think they're going to be around 500, whether it's a 5-7, a 6-6, or a 7-5. We know Jonathan Smith can coach. This was a brutal rebuild that he had to take over that was left for him by Mel Tucker, and that train wreck that ended up happening in East Lansing. I don't know, Alex. 21 feels like a lot. You can go with what we saw yesterday where the MAC covered all their games against the Big Ten, but I would be very careful because this is, even though I like 2 of the 3 coaches yesterday, I like Smith better than any of those guys who coached yesterday. So, but don't want to go with a bad number here. I'll probably stay out of it. I agree with you, though. Of all of them, Michigan State, I do have not high expectations, but some expectations for there to be a little bit of a second-year bump here going in for Jonathan Smith. To remind anybody who does remember, he helped build Oregon State. Mm-hmm. Now comes here with the quarterback in Aiden Childs. So he will have his second year here at Michigan State, but it's really just him and his favorite weapon in Nick Marsh, the wide receiver. So other than that, going to be some new faces. They were in the system. They do return at least 70% on offense, but not starters. So we'll see how it all works out here. But yeah, I can't get involved. The other side, still a quarterback battle going for Western Michigan. So don't know what we're going to get from them. So it'd be Michigan State or nothing. But I'm with you. I can't lay that bad number. Yeah, Michigan State last year, a 5-7 after a reasonable start. I think 6-6 just makes a heck of a lot of sense this year for Sparty, but they'll win tonight. And just 21 feels like a ton, even with the questions at QB for Western Michigan tonight. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we shift gears. We go to baseball, big card, 2 big rookie debuts tonight as well. And also, too, we got plenty more to get to on Sports by the Book here at the South Point studio, live as always from the South Point Hotel and Casino.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is smoke and fire. This is high stakes and wild cards. This is family and tradition. This is everything on the line. This is it. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas. the South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now. LVMS.com.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Welcome back in. It's Sports by the Book here on the South Point studio. I almost said Football Frenzy, but Football Frenzy is coming your way in about 90 minutes from now. Myself, Alex White, Vinny Magliulo, Chris Andrews will all be here to get you ready for week 1 in college football. Also get the bookmaker's perspective of the Micah Parsons trade yesterday. Also, it's parlay card season. It's always fun. The Ties win card is now white here at the South Point, so make sure you're grabbing the right cards. Ties win. What color do we always say this? We call this a salmon, Alex.
Yeah.
Right? A salmon is the half-point card. The pink one is the big teaser special. And then the super teaser is in the yellow for South Point and Rampart for the parlay cards. And, of course, the jackpot parlay card for week 1 is available right now. You still got over a week to get it in. $25,000 guaranteed, $5 a card, as many as you want. Get them in, get them early, get them often here at the South Point and up at the Rampart.
Excited to look through this card, especially for the next few days. Just to give you an idea, if you would have filled one of these Ties wins out yesterday, you could have got East Carolina plus 14, South Florida plus 6, Cincinnati plus 7. It's a good number there.
Well, and realistically, too, with these Ties win, you're really a hook.
That's right.
And really, you're getting 14.5 or 6.5 or Ties win.
Yeah.
Sad. All those Ties win. Still can't believe I covered Miami of Ohio despite getting shut out. That was outrageous yesterday. All right, let's go to baseball here, Alex. Let's start in Cincinnati. The Reds got a break yesterday. Mets lose to the Marlins, so the lead for New York is 4 in the National League wild card race. Again, the Reds, this is a big homestand, 9-game homestand, and it concludes with a series with the Mets next weekend. But they will start off with the Cardinals tonight. Zach Littell, Matt Liebertor, minus 30 on Cincinnati, plus 15 on St. Louis. Total of 9 tonight at Great American Ballpark, Alex.
Pretty short and sweet with this one. I think all the numbers are just right. It feels like it is a pretty cheap price on the Reds there. I like Littell a lot, and he has pitched well for his new team. And not a huge Liebertor fan, but he is a lefty. But really, I mean, his last 4 starts, he's given up at least 2. And then 3 to Miami, 3 to Colorado, 4 to Tampa Bay. The Reds got to get this one. They got to show up here for Zach Littell on the bump. But I'm going to pass on it. I do think 130 is the correct number.
Realistically, this has got to be a red sweep. If you're going to hang in, you got to beat everyone that you're supposed to. And if Cincinnati loses a series, look, you can probably win 2 out of 3 and keep pace. But you're gonna want to pick up as many games as possible. Again, it's a 4-game lead for New York over Cincinnati in the National League wild card race. By the way, Toronto comes into town before the Mets. So after this series, it's 2 really difficult series at home. And by the way, then they go to San Diego. So you gotta beat up on your division rival that's having a down year.
Well, especially when the team right above you in your division is really struggling right now. The Cubs are pretty fortunate that they had as big of a lead as they did, because they really have been struggling against the teams that they are supposed to have to beat.
Let's go to Philadelphia next. That Schwarber guy yesterday became the 21st player in Major League history to hit 4 homers in a game, and He had an at-bat against the position player and popped out with a chance for 5 last night. Also set a Philly club record for most RBI in a game with 9. And the Phillies beat the Braves 19-4. And again, you're just happy to be out of Citi Field.
Yep.
Extend their lead to 5 on the Mets after the Mets lose last night. And the Phillies also go back into a tie with LA for the second slot in the NL. Phillies actually own the tiebreaker over the Dodgers. So, again, important Schwarber, the only one who's even remotely close to Ohtani in those MVP odds at 5-1. Phils tonight, Ranger Suarez and Bryce Elder. Elder's been terrible against everyone except for the Mets this year, and this is obviously the Phillies. So minus 80 on Suarez, plus at 60 on the Braves in a total of 9 tonight.
I thought the Mets finally did get to him, but you are right.
Only got 2 off him last weekend. So
And Schwarber now, this is the first year ever that we've had 3 players hit 4 home runs in one game. So that is pretty cool too. We talked about it. We went over their numbers home and away, and now they're back at home, and we saw it happen again yesterday. So I think Phillies is the right side here, and I think trying to back them getting runs, even looking at their team total. So I don't want to jump in at minus 180 with Ranger Suarez, even though he is coming off a really good start, and his last 2 have actually been really good. But I just think that number's too big. But 9, I think that's okay. I'd look to the over if you trust Atlanta getting a few off of Suarez here, or looking at Philly's team total.
I would go over 9. That'd be the only look. Atlanta will get runs in this game, and Philly will score against Elder. Again, Elder's really only been good against one team this year. All right, let's go to Queens next. Marlins take the first one thanks to some shoddy Met defense last night. 7-4 the final in favor of the Fish. Game 2 of the series brings the major league debut for Jonah Tong, who has led the minor leagues in strikeouts this year in his time in AA and AAA. Only ended up making 2 starts at AAA Syracuse, but didn't give up a run over 2 starts, over 8 strikeouts per outing, and Mets give him the start here on a Friday night. And he's a big favorite, too. He's minus 175 here at the South Point. Total 7.5 here at the South Point. There's a bunch of 8s in the market as well. I'm not doing anything here because Perez is good, too, on the Miami side. We don't know what we'll get out of the rookie, even though every return in the minors was absolutely spectacular for the 22-year-old Jonah Tong.
No, really. I mean, when you look at his last 4 starts in the minors, I mean, 4 of them are scoreless. So you got to expect he'll pitch fairly well here against Miami. I think with all things considered, it's a pretty good first start. I would look at first 5 under 4, but I'm not going to play anything. I also think that number, I understand the Mets have the advantage in every other area and could potentially even with the starting pitcher, but not really knowing. I think that's just a little big as a favorite, but I'm not going to jump in on the Marlins either. So this is definitely just a watch, as well as the Red Sox game coming up here that we're going to get to.
We'll get to Boston in a second. They're, again, an incredible one in Fenway later with Skeens and one of the Red Sox big prospects making their major league debut. All right, let's be quick here in Colorado. Horton and Marquez, Cubs. You know what? I think the Cubs are thrilled to see Coors Field tonight.
I was thinking
after
that too.
What was just a mess in San Francisco after that great series in Anaheim over the weekend. Horton, who very easily could win Rookie of the Year. He's your betting favorite right now. It's him, and it's really a 3-horse race.
When did I say that? Man.
A few weeks ago, right?
It had to be at least a month ago.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good number.
It was a lot longer than that. I can tell you that. Plus 170, the best number available on Horton. Collins 2-1, and then Drake Baldwin plus 225. 11's the total. Alex, very quick for me. You know my rule. Especially with good offense with the Cubs. I know Horton's been great, but I'll look to go over 11. I probably the Cubs team total is probably the better play here to bounce back against Marquez and the Rockies, even though Cubs did not score more than 4 runs in their sweep of Colorado earlier in the year at Wrigley.
Yeah, I can't do it. I'm done trying to back the Cubs and jump in here, so we can pass on that one. I hope they score a lot of runs, and then we can start backing them tomorrow.
Let's go to L.A. next. Dodgers just swept the Reds, and now they welcome the Diamondbacks. Blake Snell, Zach Gallen, not Snack Gallen, but regardless. Minus 190. Maybe I'm hungry right now, Alex. Minus 190 on the Dodgers, plus 170 on the Diamondbacks. Total 8.5 at Chavez Ravine tonight.
I hate to do it, but all numbers look right to me. I think with Blake Snell on the bump, they should be about minus 185. And I do have the total at 9, but I'm not going to jump in at over 8.5 here. So pass for me with these two.
Cleveland's next. The Guardians and the Mariners. Seattle enters today 2 games behind the Astros in the American League West race. Houston got a win yesterday against those horrible Rockies, so back to 2 out west. Mariners currently holding the final wild card in the American League, only behind the Yankees, and the Red Sox 2 behind the Yankees, 2.5 behind Boston, entering today. And it's George Kirby day, minus 155 on Kirby, plus 40 on Logan Allen of the guards, and a total of 7.5 here at the South Point. This is another one where the South Point is lower than the market. The rest of the market is 8 on this one.
I love everything about this play except for one thing, and I'll tell you what, because I like the Mariners side. I think that's a good price on them. I think they should be $2 over this Guardians team that has just been struggling down the stretch here. So I'm going to play minus 1.5, half a unit, plus 105 here. The only thing I don't like, because I like George Kirby way more than I do like Logan Allen, the Mariners have been hitting. The Guardians are the worst offensive team looking at their numbers in the last 7 days. 155 batting average as a team, 10 WRC plus. So I like that. The one thing that makes me a little concerned is Logan Allen is coming off of the worst start of his year, where he gave up 9 earned runs to the Rangers in 5 innings pitched. So you're going to have a bounce back spot here. But when you really look at his game logs, I mean, all the teams that are above 500 got to him. All the teams that are below average, those are where his good starts tend to be. I think that this Mariners team is an elite team, right? They're a playoff team here. So I'm going to stick with it. That's just the one concern I have.
No, and I'll just throw this out there real quick on the Mariners, where I'm a little bit concerned about them after that really bad road trip to the NL East teams, where they lost 5 out of 6 and they were completely non-competitive in Philadelphia for 3 games. Yeah. Stabilized the ship back at home. And the one good thing for Seattle, and this is the good thing I think for both of the 6 seeds right now, both Seattle and the Mets, their leads are big enough now where it's going to take them falling apart and the other team playing well in order to catch them. And Seattle has a 3-game lead on Kansas City as we enter here today in action in baseball. All right, let's go to the south side of Chicago. Boy, that was a weird game last night between the Yankees and the White Sox. White Sox hop out to a lead, Yankees hop out to a 4-0 lead. White Sox answer right back, and then the White Sox turn it into White Sox the last few innings. A 10-4 win for the Bombers. And they're minus 220 here tonight. Here in game 2 of the series, it's Gomez for the White Sox, Rodon for the Yankees, and a total of 9. Alex, I feel like that total's too low yet again here in this one.
I think it's just right. I don't hate it. I mean, the Yankees have been one of the better offenses, and have been pretty hot. But Gomez has been decent. I mean, he's really got one bad start under his belt in Atlanta. But, I mean, that does really nothing for me, because I know this Yankees offense is better than the Braves too, so they should be able to get to him. So numbers are fine for me. It was an easy pass.
Let's go to Kansas City next. Royals and Tigers begin a big series in Kauffman. Again, the AL Central, it's 8.5. Again, it would take something insane for that. Well, look, Kansas City sweeps, who knows? But it's Detroit's. But more importantly for the Royals, 3 games behind Cleveland, or it's 3 games behind Seattle, as we mentioned in the AL wildcard chase. They are favored at home tonight with Seth Lugo against Christian Javier. We'll get back to that Astro game in a second. Minus 120 on Kansas City, plus 105 on Detroit, and a total of 9.
So we did just see this matchup between these two, Seth Lugo and Chris Paddock, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the Tigers won that one, and Paddock actually pitched a really good game. I think the Royals might be able to get to him a little bit here. I like this one going over that total. It did already get bumped up to 9, but I still think we're okay in the way the Tigers have been hitting, and the Royals still playing for a spot there. But I don't know if it's enough for me to want to jump in. I kind of lean to the Royals side here, but makes me a little bit nervous going against the Tigers, even though they are on a little 4-game losing streak.
Just not a fan of Paddock. That's I think, kind of been the deal with him over the last few years. It would only be a look at KC, but I really wish this was a little bit better of a price. I really wish this was more of a coin flip as opposed to KC being an actual, not sizable, but they are an actual favorite here in this one. All right, circling back. Apologies for that one, Alex. We go to Houston next. Javier and Anderson, minus 155 on the Stros. 15-cent move, interestingly enough, on this one between the Angels and the Astros.
Well, I mean, even though Christian Javier hasn't pitched very many games, just 3 starts back for him, we know that the Astros tend to hit when he's on the bump. So I think that we can get that here again today. It would only be a play on the over for this one, too. Another 9, though. So the last 3 games that we had talked about are all leans to the over, and it's Tyler Anderson on the other side, and I definitely think the Astros could get to him. It's another one, though, where they've been very streaky, so it's not a confident bet for me at all.
Let's, I don't have anything here. Let's go to Sacramento. We don't have much of a look on this game, but for Texas, the Rangers will be without Corey Seager. An emergency appendectomy 2 days ago. Very easily could be, well, again, could be as short as the 10 days. Could be the rest of the year if Texas is out of it. Springs is a pretty sizable favorite, all things considered. Minus 140 today, plus 125 on Jack Leiter tonight in Sacramento.
Yeah, I do think that number is just a little bit aggressive here, and it's kind of like the fallen star, right? Now the guys should step up in this one where we've seen them really put up some runs the last 2 nights. So I know Corey Seager's a huge part of that. So I'm not going to jump in, but I could definitely see why somebody would make the case too.
Let's go to D.C. next. Tampa and Washington. Hauser and Parker. Mitchell Parker, after a reasonable April, has been as bad as anyone in baseball to hold on to the rotational spot. Minus 140 on the Rays. By the way, just so you know what the action has been on this game, it opened Rays minus 140. Hasn't moved.
Wow.
The total was 9. Only a 5-cent move to the over. So we don't have much of an opinion. It doesn't look like the bettors have much of an opinion on this game either.
No, and I think with the Nationals 5-game losing streak, that kind of is already baked into that number for Tampa Bay. So as much as I want to say that's a good number on them, it's really not. But Mitchell Parker, you're right. He's good for 3 or 4 earned runs, and I think the Rays will be able to put that up today.
Let's go to Toronto, and this is a mega one. The best records in baseball, as we all expected at this point of the year. Toronto and Milwaukee. Yeah, there we go. Brewers and Blue Jays. What a series this will be. And Shane Bieber and Freddie Peralta get the ball tonight for their respective squads. What a great pitching matchup to kick off this series north of the border. Alex Bieber was brilliant in his first start back after missing over a year in his first start with Toronto. Peralta's been ever steady and been probably a top 12 pitcher in the National League all year long. Kind of forget about him because of Mizorowski's great stuff and Woodruff coming back with a vengeance and how good the Brewers have been. But he's a small dog tonight. Bieber's a minus 130 favorite with a total of 7.5 in this one.
Man, it doesn't match my number, but I really think you got to go with the first 5 under here because you're right. Freddie Peralta is coming in on 3 straight starts that he didn't give up a run. And then Shane Bieber in his start against Miami, 1 earned run, 6 innings pitched. So we know he can go the distance too. So that's the only way I would play it. I do think the side and total are correct for the full game though.
What a great pitching matchup. In all seriousness, what a great pitching matchup. I'm with you. It would be only a look at under 4 for this one. I kind of want to take Toronto on the side though, but I can't get there on the pricing.
So good at home, right? And all of these teams that do have these good records, that's kind of like the common thing. The Red Sox, so good at home. Toronto. Yep. So I'm with you. That's the side I would lean. But
speaking of Red Sox, let's go there. What another great pitching matchup. The likely NL Cy Young Award winner Paul Skeens is actually an underdog tonight against the Major League debut of Peyton Tolley, which the Red Sox have been waiting for. Their stud left-handed prospect into the majors for his first start. Minus 15 on the Sox, even on Pittsburgh. Boston obviously has been spectacular for the last 2 months now. 8 your total at the Fens tonight.
Man, if the only way I would play this is taking that even money with the Pirates and Paul Skeens on the bump, even though I do think Tolley will be good here. And he has been in his minor league starts as well. And the Red Sox have been hot, but the Pirates have started actually making contact and winning some of Paul Skeens' games. And they had a nice little win streak that they strung together. So yeah, it would only be Pirates or nothing getting a plus price of Paul Skeens because I kept trying to make the case that they were going to slow down and not have him pitch as long. But, I mean, he's coming off of one of his longest innings, 7 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. I guess I do have to be careful because that was at home, and we did notice that trend.
Yep. Better, but significantly better at home than on the road.
And it was Milwaukee where he only went 4. Yes, you're right. So he'll go 6 or 7 at home. But maybe not.
I'm going to steer clear. I don't know. Again, with both of these big debuts tonight, be a little bit careful, even though I expect both of the young guns to pitch great. This might be an under, even with how good Boston has been offensively. This probably is still an under at 8 tonight. He could have expected a 7.5 very easily in this one. All right, let's go to Minneapolis next. Padres, 2 games behind the Dodgers entering tonight's action on the road against the Twins, who have had a miserable season, as we've talked about. Cortez against Matthews. I actually think there's a reasonable price on the Padres, but Nestor Cortez scares the hell out of me, Alex. So I'm going to steer clear, but if I were to bet this game, I would lay the $1.25 with San Diego.
I'm with you. I actually like it. I only have 2, maybe 3 baseball picks today, but Padres did make the board. I think this is a great price for them. And I know Nestor Cortez can be scary, but he has pitched really well since coming over to San Diego. So he's pitched well for his new team. I mean, he just blanked the Dodgers. But of course, kind of get up for those spots. But I think he can pitch well against his Twins lineup that he is a lefty. They don't hit lefties well. Kind of a shell of themselves since the start of the season. So Padres minus 125, a little bit on that run line.
And then the last one on the board, San Francisco hosting Baltimore. Giants just took it to the Cubs 3 straight games. Rafael Devers woke up. Now Robbie Ray's on the bump, so second best pitcher against Baltimore. Maybe a little bit of a cheap price at minus 140 on Ray. Dean Kramer's on the other side for Baltimore, plus 125.
This is it. This is my third pick of the day because I do like the Giants. They've won 5 in a row. The Orioles have lost 4 in a row. I mean, they were swept by the Red Sox, but still, I mean, I don't think they have that much fight left in them, and I just think there's a huge pitching advantage here with Robbie Ray on the bump. So I think minus 140 is a good price there. A little bit of a lean to the full game under if you think Dean Kramer can pitch well, and looking at his road starts, that would make me a little bit nervous. 4 earned runs is his median number so far this year.
There you go. That's a baseball card here for today on the final Friday of August. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get a baseball whiteboard from Alex White because the football whiteboard comes at the end of Football Frenzy here today. See you won trivia. See what you guys voted on in the poll when we get back. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
This is speed. This is winning. This is losing. This is NASCAR in Las Vegas, the South Point 400, a NASCAR playoff race, October 10th through 12th. Get your tickets now.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total is really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
Wrapping things up here on a Friday before we take about an hour and 5-minute break. And we'll be back here at noon for the Football Frenzy on a Friday, brought to you by Sports by the Book here at the South Point Studio. I think I got everything in there. It's Alex, it's myself, it's Vinny Magliulo will be to my left, and then Chris Andrews will be to Alex's right. We'll get you ready for week 1 in college football, and we'll get the behind-the-counter perspective of the Micah Parsons trade.
Yes. That,
Of course, happened yesterday. If you didn't see, Micah Parsons is now a Green Bay Packer. And a stunning deal a week before the NFL season kicks off.
and another one of my jerseys is useless. Add it to the collection.
Yeah, but as long as Taylor Bass is still
Best
useful,
jersey, yes.
it's good.
You're right.
We're okay. Like, you can lose every other one of those jerseys. As long as Bass is still good, we're in good shape, Alex.
Jeez, DK Metcalf, no Parsons, you're right. But we have Tyler Bass,
Yeah, well,
number 2 for the Bills.
As long as we do, we're in good shape. All right, trivia time. We got a soccer question. On this date in 2009, Cristiano Ronaldo, you ever heard of him, guys? Made his debut with Real Madrid in a match against, Deportivo La Coruna. Wow, didn't realize they were in La Liga at that point. During his career with Real Madrid from 2009 to 18, how many goals did Ronaldo score with the club, and in which season did he have the highest scoring year? Him and Messi have had basically all the accolades for a 10-year period. While playing for Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo scored 311 times, 311 goals. 48 of them came in the 2014-15 campaign. Ronaldo won the Ballon d'Or, which of course is the golden ball. That is the best player in the world for FIFA. Won 5 of those. So 311 goals for the career, and 48 of them in the 2014-15 season. And Nick closes it out with the victory. He already had month 3 wrapped up, and we are through 6 months of trivia, and we are all square between Nick and JR for who have won the most months. And I have a feeling that Nick might take the advantage in September as well, because we know JR might be busy during these times, Alex.
Well, Nick is working too.
They're both busy, but
that's a good one. That's a different sport there. I didn't know where to. I'm ashamed to say this, but I didn't even know what the ballpark number was for goals per year.
48 is insane.
Okay.
Let's just go with that, because La Liga's 19 times 2, 38 matches.
Oh.
So more than a goal a game?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's insane, realistically speaking. And all those major soccer leagues have different, because Germany is a different amount of teams. We don't need to do the soccer diatribe right now. All right. Whiteboard before I fall off a cliff here, Alex White.
If soccer was on your mind, you thought about it yesterday when Bruce Marshall was here too, right?
A little bit.
Okay.
We didn't get to it, though.
Here we go. Little bit of a West Coast list for me today for baseball. I'm going Seattle Mariners, -155. George Kirby on the bump. I'm going with the Padres up against the Twins and Zebby Matthews. And then I'm going with the Giants, -140 at home, 5-game win streak. Robbie Ray, bring us home for 6 in a row here. So those are my 3 best bets for baseball today.
We will have our football best bets at the end of Football Frenzy today. Not only will Alex and I have plays, Chris Andrews started his season 1-0.
Yes, he did.
He had Kansas last week. Didn't even have to sweat it. Easy. Didn't matter what number you got on KU last week. By the way, Kansas in action tonight. They are playing, which FBS team are they playing tonight? They're playing, they're 45.5-point favorites against the Wagner Seahawks. Good. Very good. I knew it was one of those New York area teams. Couldn't put my finger on it, though, before looking it up. So, Kansas, Missouri next week, by the way, Alex. That's a big deal in my neck of the woods where I went to college, to say the very least.
Yes.
All right. We're back at noon. It's myself, Alex White, Chris Andrews, Vinny Maliulo for Football Frenzy on a Friday. Make sure you're tuning in coming up at noon right here on the Sports by the Book channel. She's Alex White. I'm Jeff Parles. Ryan, Sean, great work getting everything ready for today as well, along with Vince, Drew Dog, and Ann as well. We'll see you at noon. We're right back here in an hour and 7 minutes on Sports by the Book with Football Frenzy coming your way at noon. We'll see you then.